Good morning, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, we are on number 7 from the Bhagavad Gita's list of values. And number 7 is purity. Purity internally and externally. They're very specific about bodily purity in heart. Bodily purity in heart. I found this great quotation, which is by Rumi. And Rumi's quotation is, "The pure heart is a spotless mirror in which images of infinite beauty are reflected." The pure heart is a spotless mirror in which images of infinite beauty are reflected. So you know that if you have a pure mind and a pure heart, in Eastern medicine, Chinese medicine for sure, I know, and certainly in many philosophies and even spiritual traditions, the mind and the heart are very closely connected. So, as you think is how you're feeling in your heart. So, you know that if you ever thought about love, you feel it in your heart, right? And if you really thought about not liking something, you will feel it in your heart. This doesn't feel good, right? So, the pure mind and heart is able to see beauty in other things as well as itself. And the Gita is very specific about this purity idea. And I believe many religions and traditions are also very clear about this, but then modern application has changed things a little bit. So I know for sure fasting is often recommended in various religions, various spiritual traditions, and even in terms of naturopathy, fasting is often recommended. And when we think about this, a lot of people are unaware that I know for Islam, for example, um, in fasting time, the true fasting is from all of the senses. So most people would think that you're not eating from sunrise to sunset, and that's true. But the pure way of looking at fasting in that tradition, I know, is supposed to be from eyes, ears, mouth, touch, everything. So all of the senses is to take a break from all of those. So not looking at things that would be not ideal to look at. We can think of explicit photography. You know what I'm speaking about. It's something that would then arouse someone. So then there's two senses that are involved, right? There's the vision and then there's the sexuality or touch, right? So the sense of touch would be thought about or felt or anticipated. And this is a break from all of it. Now, when we look at fasting in how we're doing it in North America, and certainly has been done in natural medicine for quite some time, it's often thought about as the food. I've been eating all the wrong foods and I'm going to take a fast for a few days and I'm just going to clear out my system. And that's good. It's definitely good for the body to purify that way. Now, if we were to go one step further, if we're able to purify thoughts, right? So I think not kindly about people, and I'm going to make sure that I'm only thinking kindly about people. That's a fantastic fast, right? It's a whole different level. So this is again, once the mind and the heart are in this pure space, you're able to give very easily and receive very easily. The Gita, it was very interesting as I'm learning all of the details behind these things. It was interesting when they talk about the body as a vessel. And so when you're cleansing, this purification of this vessel, they talk about it's the only way that you can actually give from a pure space, right? Which makes sense, right? So the example that was given was if there's a dirty pot and you're serving something from it, even if it's water, the water won't be so clean, right? So when we are getting great information from our teachers, now remember what we've gone through. We've gone through humility, modesty, we've gone through nonviolence, forgiveness, honesty, and then we've gone to the dedication to teachers, and now we're at purity. So imagine if you've got all of those aspects kind of covered, that you're already working from that space, you're already cleaning your vessel. Then it's a matter of how do you make sure that you keep it there, right? So as you do these practices, it's very orderly in terms of as we work through. So you can imagine that if a person is working from a very prideful space, what comes out of their system is not so pure, right? It's coming from that space of non-humility. Now, it's the very first aspect that we covered in the list of values, humility, modesty, and quiet performance, right? So just Yeah, and recognizing that there's some higher source that's helping me perform at the way that I am, at the level that I can. All of these things have added up to a space of purifying this vessel. And then what comes from this vessel is like clean water from a clean pot, right? So this is the vessel is clear to be able to distribute beauty, everything loving, everything kind, everything compassionate, everything pure that comes from the vessel, right? So I thought I'd end this video with another quote that I came across, which I thought was very fitting. And it says, "He who loves with purity considers not the gift of the lover, but the love of the giver." He who loves with purity considers not the gift of the lover, but the love of the giver. So I leave you with that today, and I hope that you are always thinking of the love of the giver or givers in your life, and that you give from the same space, from purity, today and always. I wish you a fantastic day ahead, and remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.